Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, Happy New Year, everyone. I don't think we've been together since last year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're going to open up the meeting with public comments. Is there anyone here wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll go ahead and close that, and we'll move right on to approval of the Planning Commission meeting minutes for November 15th, 2021. Do we have any changes we need to make? No? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, moving right along. Okay, tonight we've got two CUPs requests. The first one is conditional use permit request by Rockstep Christiansburg LLC for an operation of a carnival from April 27th, 2022 through May 8th, 2022 on the property located at 782 New River Road Northwest, further identified as parcel ID 007741, tax parcel number 435-A-41 in the B3 General Business District. The property is designated as business/commercial on the land use map of the 2017 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. Andrew, you want to just kick us off a little bit on it? I think we've had this permit request in the past years, and unless there's anything really changed about it, I think we're pretty much familiar with it.
As you're familiar with the property, it is zoned, as you mentioned, B3 general commercial, as is the location of Uptown Mall, and it is the future land use designation is again is the future land use designation is business as well, general business. So this is a consistent use with that district. It is a use that has been approved in the past. I have pulled up the kind of the setup that is proposed this year. It is in the front of the building along New River Road. You could see the building or the rooftop of the IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, to the bottom left. That's probably one of the best markers there.
Right.
And so it will be facing Pepper's Ferry Road, North Franklin. It has been on the other side in the past, and I do think that this is a better location for compatibility with the neighborhood that are across the Huckleberry Trail. They are proposing this location this year, and I think that it ran well last year. From a town perspective, we did not receive any formal complaints.
Great, I was going to ask that.
And again, I guess Cole Amusement was pleased enough with the outcome that they're back again. They did work very well, is my understanding, with the COVID response team to make sure that they were operating as safe as they could during the pandemic. So at this point, this is the location. I have the conditions I can pull up whenever you all want to, get into that. And we don't we're not really recommending any changes to the conditions this year unless there's something that the commission would want to look at and tweak or add or delete.
This is the location where we had the touch the truck, is that
correct?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're at a point to go ahead and pull up the conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at them. Just refresh your memory.
scroll down if needed. Go ahead and make it a little larger.
And these are the same, exact same conditions as prior.
They are, and they've been, the continuous, it really, there hasn't been substantial changes throughout the years, really, as these have been applied for. Now, this particular company has become, I think, at least 3 out of the last 4 years. And so, and these conditions have worked well for them, and they seem to cover the bases that we want to cover for a transient use like this.
No, I see no issues on the conditions. Any comments, commissioners?
I don't have any.
I'm excited.
Well, should we cut right to the chase?
Do you want to vote on this evening?
I have a question. We reissued them a permit once, twice, 3 times. At this point, is it possible just to make it more than 1 year? Say like, all right, for the next 3 years, you can have a carnival once a year or something. Just because, it's a lot of money to be like, here.
Yeah.
When we're gonna just be like, yeah, you guys did a
Good
great
point.
job. Like they've kind of shown their track record at this point that they put on a good showing, and they're cooperative with the town and the health department.
I think that's certainly something that we can look at. I think it would be a matter of, would the owner be willing to, to sign
Okay.
for multiple years?
I think that maybe we just don't vote tonight and ask him that. Just, I think that's something they may be
Yeah.
in favor of.
Mhm.
And we don't make it for indefinite, but
Yeah.
a few more
That the
than
permit
one.
can carry over year
Yeah.
to year. Somewhat of a automatic annual renewal,
As long as they're not going to change anything, yeah, I don't see why not.
or based on conditions that there were no negative feedback or
Yeah,
major
we can
issues.
we can always put the rule we revisit in 1 year kind of thing.
Right.
I'm good with that. Have we ever done anything like that before, Andrew?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't. How about you?
Some communities would handle an event like this through an administrative review process. If there were certain things that were met, then it would be approved, or a permit that would go straight to the elected body. But this is, it's unique in that you all don't see many temporary uses. You're mostly looking at long-term established uses where you have to look at impacts of what it could be for over the next 20 to 40 years.
Right.
And
Right,
so,
exactly.
So this is unique in that regard. And so that would be, if that would be the direction you all would want to go with, any recommendation would be for council to look at, a multi-year.
I like the idea. I
Yeah.
think it makes sense, and, with the history and the good records that we have, the nice results, might be the least we can do.
Is there any requirement that they have to apply every year or anything?
No, not really. It's listed as a conditional use permit for a carnival. And so it doesn't really say that it has to be run annually in the code. So it certainly could be entertained. I would want, staff to have an opportunity to talk to, the attorney and to see if that would be something that,
And would it be tied to the applicant?
right, and then that's another question as well.
Because,
if the
if we
conditions
open
can be
ourselves
met,
up for
can
any
we-
carnival
yeah,
to come in,
right.
that
Well, they're typically applied to the applicant.
Right, and and it really hasn't come up before,
Yeah.
because it's usually that applicant that follows through. I guess, could they, in theory, sell their conditional use permit to another amusement group that if they met all the conditions, they could come in? Because we're not saying it is for one group over another. So similar to how we wouldn't approve a conditional use permit for, say, an auto, one auto garage over another auto garage, or one hotel over another hotel, or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
right, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
with it,
But I
too.
think we have found that the mall site makes a good site for a carnival.
Yeah, right, yeah. And I think that location in particular.
Yeah.
So we'll table it and then go to
Sure. You wanna-
council and get their feedback, or staff, get your feedback.
Well, I mean, you all could make a recommendation with the guidance to staff to look at, to see if it could be, to
make it
make it a multi-year. But I wouldn't recommend making that a condition this evening, simply because I don't know if it's something that would be recommended.
something that we can do. Yeah.
But I'm happy to speak, talk with the town manager and the town attorney and see if that's something that if you all would want to make a recommendation, we can move that with guidance to staff to bring to council to see, because to be honest, it will probably come out at council too, I would imagine, because I think that's been I think it came up at staff, at the staff level, and said, geez, we're just doing the same thing again
Yeah,
this
right,
year.
right.
So I think through, if you all would make that or that, provide that guidance to staff for us to move forward with it, we could certainly do what we can. If our attorney said, well, it's really, we don't have the future, the mall would have to commit to multiple years, and to say, yes, we would allow for this,
Yeah, that's true too. Right.
Right.
For this agreement every year, and so I would like to research those things.
I think that's fair.
Before a condition was
Yeah.
put forward, but, I mean,
Okay.
if you are comfortable with the rest of it, I would recommend, moving forward with a recommendation potentially this evening, unless you would want to.
No, I'm
Move forward.
fine with that. So I can make a motion to approve the conditional use permit as presented, with the recommendation to council to consider additional years if the applicant is open to it.
Well said.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Okay, passes. All right, moving on to point number 5. Conditional use permit request by Taylor E. Linkus and Blair Lawton, LLC, for an auction house business on the property located at 2790 Roanoke Street, further identified as parcel ID 030021, tax parcel number 501-5-2, in the B3 Business, General Business District. The property is designated as business/commercial on the future land use map 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Map, or plan, sorry. Okay, Andrew, you want to kick us off just a little bit, preview on, I think we all know where this location is, and it used to be a restaurant there?
Correct,
Right.
yes, it used to be the Wagon Wheel.
Okay,
uh,
right,
A restaurant, and so it is unique in that it's
A piece of a
a
parcel.
piece of a parcel, right? So you have the middle part, which is the restaurant, which has where's the subject property for the auction house conditional use permit, and it has parking to the rear. It is surrounded entirely by the hotel, and its parking. So it
Right.
is a bit unique in that regard. For the viewing public, it is located on Roanoke Street, slightly down from the power zone and the Cracker Barrel at the intersection of Tower Road and Hampton Boulevard. And as you mentioned, it used to be the former restaurant, and it is across from Patricia Lane.
right.
It is the zoning district along Roanoke Street. Future land use designation, business commercial. So the proposal is to place an auction house, which does require a conditional use permit. It is one of those uses that is clearly called out in our ordinance. We have actually an auction house, a business auction house definition, and an industrial auction house definition. The business auction house means an auction house for items of personal or business nature generally found within retail stores located within the underlying zoning district. When the planning department was talking with the applicant, they both believe that this would be the best fit for them, as it is allowed in the district and is what they intend on doing. I believe the applicant is here this evening. He is here this evening. If you have any questions.
Okay. My understanding is a lot of it's going to be online.
Correct.
Okay. And then I guess as you post things online, then you would show them at this facility. They have a chance to come in and bid on it and so on. Yeah.
But if you need, or I'll be glad to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
would you like to go to the podium?
Yeah. I introduce myself. I'm Taylor Linkus. Nice to meet you guys. If I can pull my mask down,
Absolutely.
see who I am now. But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to look at this. I think the main thing to consider here is, since these ordinances were made, the auction industry especially has really changed from, it's not the crowds of people and outside and selling things. You know, we're almost exclusively online auctions now, where it's like a timed type thing, and we ship stuff all over the country, and it's about 20% in the last couple of years of our business is local. People who actually come to the facility, pick stuff up, you know, and take it with them. About 80% of it is shipped. So the biggest traffic and that type of thing is going to be UPS and FedEx coming in and out of the building. Very low impact on traffic and that type of thing. It's not going to be a lot of people there. We'll have somewhere around 4 to 5 full-time employees that are there. There is ample parking. We have 120 spaces, I think, on the lot. It's 1.4 acres, so there's plenty of room to do what we're doing. The biggest thing for us is the location. It's great because it's right off interstate. It's right there close. It's a lot of visibility, that type of thing. And you know, we're excited to fix the building up. It's kind of been sitting there for a long time and kind of going downhill. So you know, we're doing cosmetic things and fixing it up and looking nicer, which is better for the town, I believe. And anytime it's better to have revenue coming in than just sitting there and being abandoned. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, but what I think, since the conditional use permit, I understand, you know, we're happy to do it and that type of thing, but it really doesn't apply what the laws were written for what we're doing particularly, because we're more of a retail office type space where we're just storing, photographing, shipping, things like that. Then you know, I won't rule out that we'll never have an auction. We do real estate too, and sometimes we find that our real estate does better with live, but that's usually you know, 20 to 30 people would come into the building and kind of sit in this type of setting where we put the real estate, land, things like that up on a screen, and we would conduct an auction. So there will be no issues with noise or lots of traffic or anything like that with what we're proposing to do with the building. So, any questions?
Is there going to be any outside storage?
Not outside storage. There is a separate building behind that we'll use for storage. It's about a 3,000 square foot storage building that we'll use that. But there will not be things sitting out. You know, our kind of our business model is not stuff that would be sitting outside anyway. We're kind of selling, you know, more high-end assets, jewelry, art, things like that. So it's not going to be anything that's sitting outside there. The only time that we may have something on our property, and it would just be on our property, is like if we have some collector cars or something like that that may come in that may be stored there. But storage, no, not really.
That's my only concern, is that there would be items outside and it would not be pleasant to look at.
Right. Well, if there's anything stored there, it will be behind the facility in the back parking lot. And we don't have any plans. I just want to be honest with you. I mean, if it happens, it would be very rare, and it would only be maybe vehicles or, and you know, like a 1960 Corvette sitting there. So it's not something that is going to be
Yeah, that I wouldn't mind at all.
yeah, you wouldn't mind looking at, but no, as far as like, I think what you're probably thinking in mind is, you know, building materials or
Farm equipment and.
farm equipment, things like
That's
that.
where I was going, yeah.
Farm equipment, yeah, normally that's not really our part of the business that we do, but if we do a farm sale or something, it's usually on location. It's not gonna be something that we're gonna bring there, and because it doesn't make sense, because what we're doing online, it's easier for somebody to pick it up from location than to bring it to our building type thing. The only things we're bringing there are the smaller items that are able to ship, and those will be stored inside.
Any feedback from the hotel at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
No,
Not that I can imagine they'd have a problem.
I don't think, I've had a good relationship just talking to them so far since we purchased the building. We actually had to work with them when we purchased it because the original deed said that we would share parking when they sold the hotel, so they could park on our lot, we could park on their lot, and that was just kind of some housekeeping stuff that needed to be cleaned up from the way they sold it before. And they were great to work with that. We were able to have that changed to where they'll park in their parking spaces, we'll use our parking spaces and that type of thing.
Very good.
I had no issues with them on that. So.
Any further questions? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We did find one previous auction house for a conditional use permit for an auction house that was back in 1995. And as Mr. Linkus said, I think the industry has changed quite a bit
Right.
since then. I could bring up those conditions just so that you could see them. But again, I would stress that I don't think all of them are applicable in the area. Here it talks to all sales be conducted inside the building.
Right.
No outside loudspeakers, amplifiers to be heard outside the building, not to be allowed. Again, I think that probably harkens back to the kind of a traditional auction house.
Right.
You know, there be no outdoor accumulation, display, or sale of goods or wares. Adequate, safe, or off-street parking be provided to customers, not block any street or public driveway entrance. And we do have ordinances for that as well.
Right.
Which I think do cover that the facility pass an inspection by the fire marshal and the building inspector, which is built into the code and would be required, you know, whether this was by right or with a conditional use
Right.
permit. And then, that there not be more than 2 auction sales per week as stated by the applicant at the time.
Yeah, I don't know about all those.
Right, right.
I mean, the sales are gonna be conducted inside the building or on the internet,
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that those really, we need to use anything.
so.
I don't think so either.
But thanks for finding them for us.
Thank you.
That was a search, I'm sure.
Well, commissioners, any other thoughts or comments? Are we comfortable to move on this tonight too?
Thanks.
I'd make a motion to accept it.
I'd second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, congratulations.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to seeing the building get a little bit of TLC.
Yes.
That's great.
All right, well, thank you guys.
You bet. You bet.
Appreciate it.
Oh.
If any of you have any questions, please reach out to me.
When's his date?
Is there gonna be,
Um,
people going in? I mean, if I wanted to go in there and take a look,
I don't know.
it has nothing to do with the approval, I just curious.
Oh, sure, yeah, I mean, we're starting to work on it and do things to it right now, so we're in and out right now.
Yeah, no, I mean after you get set up and have.
Oh, yeah,
merchandise.
absolutely, yeah, it'll be 9 to 5, once we get set up, there'll be, someone there at all times, so, yeah, come on in, take a look, might find something we'll buy. But that'll be great, yeah, our plans are probably around 1st of March, because,
Okay.
very
I didn't see
another
it
month
here.
or
Very good.
And again, yeah, and I think it harkens to a good portion of what they do really functions as a regular retail use would. Ben may have gone over this with you, but your public hearing for town council would be on February 22nd in the same room here at 7 PM.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Okay, moving on to point number 6, elections for officers. And we normally do this around
December.
January?
Yeah,
December?
yeah, well, it calls for December in the bylaws, but I think the last couple of years we haven't had a
In
meeting in
January.
December.
And I would sort of open the opportunity, how many commissioners are we missing tonight? Two?
Correct.
So do we feel comfortable holding the election, or is that do we have that opportunity to postpone it until all the commissioners are here? Or do I open that up to the floor and ask, how do we all feel?
Jean-Ann, I think, is on extended leave though, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right, because
With
she'll
the
be
base?
out for a while, right?
We do expect Mark back.
I'm
You
comfortable
know,
with
next one.
nominating the current officers to serve again.
Ladies, would either one of you like to be
I'm good.
involved? Did you say your game?
No, I said I'm
I
good.
thought I saw a game. I heard no
Second
game.
what Tom said.
And Tom, well, I appreciate that too, has anyone spoken with Jean Ann? She's,
I did speak with her today, but we did not talk about,
We've talked in the past.
Vice
and
Chair.
she's still interested.
she's still interested, okay,
Could have changed since then, but
Mhm.
I suspect that.
okay. Then I'm comfortable, make it a vote tonight, and we want to handle them individually. I think we've done that before, vote on each.
sure. And then the third position would be for the secretary, which.
I nominate Ben.
Isn't that what
Or you come back.
And I do have it
You
on
wanna
my
come back?
phone, where he did say that he would, he would accept a nomination if, if it was presented this evening, so. So,
Fantastic. Do we need to take a vote on that then?
yes, if you
Okay.
would, yeah, that'd be good.
Do we have to hold it in a form of a motion? Or just take a vote?
I mean,
I think we did that. I nominated all the same. He was secretary last year.
So-
Ben
Yeah.
wasn't.
yeah, Ben was, so that would be, I mean, I guess there really is a motion on the floor right now for Hill Johnson as chair and Janine Canese as vice chair. And I believe it was seconded by Jess, so.
Okay, all right, then let's
We'll-
take a vote.
Mhm.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, now we can take, do we have a motion for Ben to be secretary?
Motion for Ben to be secretary.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, that's easy enough, quick. All right, moving on to other business.
I have something. Little plug. The Red Cross has announced a critical blood shortage like we've never heard or seen before in the history of their blood donation program. The task force for the New River Valley is partnering with the Red Cross and our local hospitals to hold a blood drive on February 11th at the Blue Ridge Church, where we first started our COVID vaccination program. It's going to be from 10 to 4 p.m., and you can sign up on redcross.org.
What day is that?
It's a Friday, next Friday.
The 11th?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you donate, you get a free tote bag and a $10 Amazon gift card. Thanks, Amazon.
Nice. How long do you need to wait in between giving blood? How many weeks is that? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I'll look and see. I'll look and see, but I'll put it on my calendar. I want a tote bag.
I don't know exactly either. I would think at least 2 weeks.
I think so too, but I'll double check.
I feel like you can give plasma every week.
Yeah, maybe there's also plasma seats if you want to give plasma. All blood products accepted.
Perfect. Make a day out of it.
Okay. The only thing I had is Tim Wilson has now joined the Regional
Commission?
Planning Commission. So he'll be supporting or representing Christiansburg along with myself still. So that was good to see him there.
Yeah.
And Casey presented out the plans for the museum. Quite interesting. It was very, very well done. He has a video, and they've done quite the amazing job on raising money. And if you've never seen that building, I haven't been in it, but I saw the video, and Casey took us all the way through it. Unbelievable. And the vaults are so outstanding, unique. There's more than one too. And there's a dumb waiter too.
How they used to get financial records and things, from the bottom to the
Right.
to the main floor.
Pretty cool.
Very nice.
That's all I had. Anyone else?
I would just add that I know that there are some access issues right now with folks trying to get onto the for their town website. I think it's a combination of whether the two-factor authentication was put on your phone and it's not working, or if it was never put on your phone. And also there are a couple folks that still need to do the know before training, which is our cybersecurity efforts, just to educate everybody that is using our system, on some basic some basic do's and don'ts when using email. So I think I'll get up with Ben, and we'll probably try to contact individuals to. I think for most folks, I think the training will be easier to do remote. I think to set up the two-factor authentication, it'd be a time to try to find that would work with our IT department and to come in, and they're usually pretty flexible during the day.
It's
and
really quick too.
Yeah, yeah. And so we'll try to figure that out, but that would be great before the next meeting if we could, get everybody back on, on track with getting, being able to access the email.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you guys are doing great with finding the agendas otherwise, and obviously staying into yes, they are, yeah. But I just want to make sure, I'm not sure if there's been other emails that have been sent, that you all haven't been able to get a hold of. Ben could speak to that better than I can, but it'd be great to get everybody back on the system.
Good. And you mentioned some real estate forms still need to be turned in.
Yes, and then if everyone could provide their disclosure forms
So
either
I
this
don't have
evening
that
or in the
form because I
morning.
can't get to my email. Is
Okay.
that something that can be emailed to me to a,
Yes, I
my
could do
work
that right
address?
now. Yes,
okay.
yeah, right after the meeting.
I'll give you my new cell phone number too, because
Okay.
the number that I had before was from my previous job, but I work in Blacksburg now, so.
Okay.
Ooh, no more
Great.
computers.
Yeah, closer commute.
No
Okay.
excuse to be late. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great.
Okay, if
Good.
no further business, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.